Our mothers would gather us close, their voices low and serious. These weren't just bedtime stories. They were warnings, tales of the inexplicable and the terrifying. They were dark, haunting lessons. In the dim glow of evening, as the wind whispered through the trees, as night fell and the world outside grew still, our mothers would weave tales that sent shivers down our spines. They would gather us close, their voices low and serious. These weren't just bedtime stories. They were warnings, tales of the inexplicable and the terrifying. They were dark, haunting lessons meant to keep us from straying too far. Here are 3 shocking stories told by our Nigerian mothers to teach lessons, or were they just meant to instill fear? At number 3, we have the story about a girl who was always curious and often wandering off. Her mother always warned her to be careful and never take food from strangers. One afternoon, while playing near the market, she was approached by a woman she had never seen before. The woman had a kind smile and offered her a small cake. Tempted by the aroma, she forgot her mother's warning and accepted the treat. As soon as she took the first bite, a strange feeling came over her. Her stomach churned, and she felt a sharp, uncomfortable sensation deep within. But she shrugged it off, thinking it was just a passing ache. Over the next few days, the discomfort grew worse. She could hear faint hissing sounds, and she felt something moving inside her belly. Terrified, she told her mother, who immediately knew something was terribly wrong. They visited a healer, who examined her and told her there was a snake growing inside her and that it came from the food she ate. Her mother was devastated. She watched helplessly as her daughter's condition worsened. The snake inside her belly grew stronger, its movements more violent, and the hissing louder each day. The once cheerful girl was now weak and in constant pain, haunted by the creature inside her. Because they couldn't find a cure, she wept, wishing she had listened to her mother's warning. The snake's hissing was the only sound in the house, a chilling reminder of the terrible price of her disobedience. Her story served as a reminder to other children to never take food from strangers. At number 2, we have the story about the boy who was known for his curiosity and a habit of picking up anything that caught his eye, especially money he found on the ground. His mother often warned him to never pick up things that didn't belong to him. One day, as he was walking home from the market, he spotted a shiny coin glinting in the dirt. Ignoring his mother's warnings, he quickly bent down and scooped it up, feeling a rush of excitement at his small find. But as soon as the coin touched his hand, a strange sensation washed over him. The world around him began to spin, and before he could understand what was happening, his body stiffened, his skin hardened, and he fell to the ground. Later, his mother went looking for him along the path where he had last been seen. She found a large, freshly dug yam where her son should have been. Her heart sank as she realized what had happened. Her son had been turned into a yam as punishment for his greed and disregard for the warnings. Distraught, she carried the yam home, placing it carefully by the hearth. From that day on, the story of her son spread throughout the village, serving as a stern reminder to all children. Never pick up what is not yours, for you never know what dark magic may be at play. And at number 1, almost everyone heard this particular story. At number 1, we have the story about a girl who brought a bag of sweets to share with her classmates. Her classmates, in excitement, eagerly accepted one. Only one girl decided to take her sweet home instead of eating it right away. She wanted to show it to her mother, who had always warned her to be careful with gifts, especially from those who seemed too eager to give. When her mother saw the sweet, she grew suspicious and told her daughter not to eat it. Instead, they placed it on the kitchen shelf, where it sat untouched. On the third day, her mother noticed something strange. The sweet had started to change. When they opened the sweet, it was a small human finger that was inside. Terrified, they took the finger to an elder, who revealed the truth. The sweets had been enchanted. It was meant to lure children into witchcraft. Those who ate them were marked, drawn into a dark world of secrets and shadows. Thanks to her caution and her mother's wisdom, they had avoided a terrible fate. And so you have it. These stories are some of the stories told by our mothers. These stories, while often exaggerated, serve to instill a sense of caution, obedience, and respect for traditions and the unknown.